everybody. Today we are going to talk all about pizza. Pizza is one of my favorite foods. It really has all the food groups if you think about it, and it's really nice and fun and easy to make. I've included a recipe for pizza in your envelope if you want to make a mini pizza with your parents. So we're going to read two stories today, and then I have a small project for you to make a paper plate pizza at home in case you can't make the real pizza for right now. Okay, so the first story we're going to read is called The Little Red Hen Makes a Pizza. The little red hen had eaten the last slice of her tasty loaf of bread. She sipped a cup of chickweed tea and taken her nap. Now she was hungry again, so she scratched through her cupboard and spied a can of tomato sauce. "Why don't I make a lovely little pizza?" she said to herself. She rummaged through her pan drawer. There were bread pans, cake pans, muffin pans, frying pans, all kinds of pans. But not one single pan was large and round and flat. "Oh, man," she said, "I need a pizza pan." She stuck her head out the window. "Good morning," she called. "Does anyone have a pizza pan?" "Not I," said the duck. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the cat. "Very well, then, I'll fetch one myself," said the little red hen. So she went to the hardware store. She bought a pizza pan, a large mixing bowl, a pizza slicer, and some other stuff. When she got home, she opened the cupboard. She saw beans and rice, sugar and spices, jars of jam and jars of honey, and even pickled eggplant, but no flour. "Cluck," she said, "I need flour." She stuck her head out the window. "Hello," she said. "Who will run to the store and get me some flour?" "Not I," said the duck. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the dog. "Very well, then, I'll fetch some myself," said the little red hen. So she went to the supermarket. She bought some flour, some salt, some oil, and some other stuff. When she got home, she opened the fridge. "Cluck," she said, "there's cream cheese, blue cheese, string cheese, and Swiss cheese, but no mozzarella." So she stuck her head out the window. "Excuse me," she said, "who will go to the store and buy me some mozzarella?" "Not I," said the duck. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the cat. "Very well, then, I'll fetch some myself," said the little red hen. So the little red hen went to the delicatessen. She brought some pepperoni, some mozzarella and olives, some mushrooms, onions, and garlic, a can of 8 small anchovies, and some other stuff, but no pickled eggplant. When she got home, the little red hen put on her apron and stuck her head out the window. "Good afternoon," she said. "Who will help me make some pizza dough?" "Not I," said the duck. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the cat. "Very well, then, I'll make it myself," said the little red hen. So she put the flour and some other stuff into her mixing bowl and stirred and mixed and mixed and kneaded and pounded until she had a big ball of pizza dough. After the dough rose, the little red hen rolled it flat and folded it and rolled it and spun it around her head several times. When the dough was just right, she tossed it way up in the air one last time for good luck and put it in her pizza pan. Have you guys ever played with pizza dough? It's really fun. Then she stuck her head out the window. "Excuse me," she said, "who will help me make the topping?" "Not I," said the duck. "Not I," said the dog. "Not I," said the cat. "Very well then, I'll make it myself," said the little red hen. So she chopped and grated and sliced. Next she opened her can of tomato sauce and spread it all over the pizza dough. On top of that, she put some grated mozzarella, some sliced pepperoni, some chopped olives, some mushrooms, some onions and garlic, 8 small anchovies, and some other stuff, but no pickled eggplant. The little red hen looked at her pizza. It looked just right. She put it in the oven and sat down to sip a cup of chickweed tea. Pretty soon a delicious smell drifted from the oven. It filled the room and floated out the window. "My lovely little pizza must be ready," she thought. Do you think the duck and the cat and the dog are going to be interested now? That's what I'm thinking. It was lovely, but it was not little. Look at the size of this pizza. It's enormous. So she stuck her head out the window. "Good evening," she said. "Would anybody like some pizza?" Can you guess what the duck said? Can you guess what the dog said? Can you guess what the cat said? They all said yes, of course, but the cat scraped most of the toppings off his share. When the pizza was all gone, the little red hen made herself another cup of chickweed tea. Then she asked, "Who will help me do the dishes?" Now can you guess what the duck, the dog, and the cat each said? They each said, "I will, I will, I will." That's good of them. And so they did. The end. Who thought that little red hen, when she decided to make a pizza, should have probably checked her kitchen for all the ingredients before she had to make all of those trips? Just a thought, and the next time you have an idea, you might want to check your things. Okay, the next story I want to read to you is what's called a fractured fairy tale. Now, fairy tales come from a long time ago, and they were written to be kind of tales with a lesson, such as The Three Little Pigs, Cinderella is a fairy tale, Sleeping Beauty is a fairy tale. A lot of the times these fairy tales are written where the female characters are not very smart. And that was just the feelings of a lot of people during that time, that in the fairy tales the female characters were easily tricked. And so fractured fairy tales came along when people decided, well, not only boys can be the heroes of the story, girls can be too. So this story that I'm going to read to you, The Princess and the Pizza, is a fractured fairy tale based off the story The Princess and the Pea. Princess Paulina needed a job. Her father had given up his throne to become a woodcarver and moved them to a humble shack in a neighboring kingdom. Since the king was still learning, his carvings didn't sell and Paulina's garden barely kept enough on the table. Paulina missed princessing. She missed walking the peacock in the royal garden, surveying the kingdom from the castle tower, and doing the princess wave in royal processions. What's the princess wave look like? Paulina tried walking a stray chicken around her shack, but it only pecked at her bare toes. Surveying the kingdom from the shack's leaky roof made even more holes. She tried princess waving to the townspeople from her father's cart, but nobody bothered to wave back. They just thought she was swatting at flies. One day, a page rode past the shack announcing that Queen Zelda of Blom was seeking a true princess to become the bride of her son, Prince Drupert. "This is my chance to get back at princessing," Paulina cried. She rummaged through her trunk of ex-princess stuff, brushed the wood shavings from her best ball gown, and blew away the bits of sawdust that clung to her diamond tiara. Then she tucked a piece of garlic into her bodice for good luck, snipped some fragrant herbs to cover up the garlic smell, and headed for the castle. Paulina didn't expect much competition. There wasn't another princess for hundreds of miles. But when she got to Blom Castle, Paulina found she was only one of 12 princesses hoping to become the royal bride. When she looked into her assigned room, Paulina saw her bed piled with 16 mattresses. Oh, for Pete's sake, the old princess and the pea trick. That's so once upon a time. Naturally, Paulina didn't sleep all night because she felt that lumpy pea through all of the mattresses. When the 12 princesses gathered in the throne room next morning, the 7 who looked bright-eyed were sent home. Now only Paulina and 4 other sleepy princesses remained. First, they were made to write essays entitled, "Why I Want to Have the Gracious and Exquisitely Beautiful Queen Zelda for My Mother-in-Law." Prince Drupert and Queen Zelda finally appeared on the balcony. Queen Zelda did all the talking. "Congratulations, ladies! You have written some lovely essays which I will keep in my scrapbook. And you have all passed the mattress test. But to make absolutely sure you are of royal blood, there is a second test. Only a true princess can wear these glass slippers." "Oh, for Pete's sake, have you never heard of sneakers?" Paulina asked. Queen Zelda gave Paulina a sharp look. "Nobody said you had to hike in them. Just try them on." Where have you heard about glass slippers before? After the royal page made his way around the room with the slippers, 2 big-footed princesses were sent home. Now only Paulina and 2 others remained. One was followed around by 7 strange little men. That sounds familiar. And the other had such a long braid dragging behind her, Paulina kept tripping over it. I wonder who that is. "For Pete's sakes, you've never heard of scissors?" Paulina cried. Queen Zelda glared at Paulina. "You have all passed the second princess test. Your final task is to cook a feast that proves you worthy of being my dear Drupert's wife." This set up a wail among the princesses, especially Paulina. "For Pete's sake, you have no royal chef?" "Silence," said the queen. "The table holds the making for 3 fine feasts. Choose well, for the winner will become my dear Drupert's bride." As Paulina started for the table, the long-haired princess tripped her, then loaded up with food. By the time Paulina got there, the 7 strange little men had run off with everything except some flour, yeast, water, 3 overripe tomatoes, and a hunk of stale cheese. "Hey, that's not fair. Queen Zelda, will you help me?" "No," said the queen, "because you have a big mouth." A servant escorted Paulina to her room and locked the door. "Hey, how can I cook without a bowl or spoons or pots?" There was no reply. Paulina tried to make bread, kneading the flour, water, and yeast together, but it only stuck to the tray in a flattened mess. She squished the tomatoes over the dough to brighten it up. It looked awful. She sprinkled cheese gratings over the top. It was still a mess, and Paulina was exhausted. "For Pete's sake, where's your fairy godmother when you need her? I'm going to take a nap." She reached under the pile of mattresses, pulled out the offending Pete, and climbed into bed. What does it look like she made? She hadn't been sleeping long when there was a knock at the door. "Only 20 minutes left," called Queen Zelda. "I don't smell anything cooking." "I'm not cooking," said Paulina. "I'm napping, then I'm going home." "You're not going anywhere," said the queen. "The losers will be beheaded." Paulina sat bolt upright. "Beheaded? You didn't tell us that." "I forgot," said the queen. "Can't I have a second chance? How about I try to spin straw into gold, or maybe I can guess a weird little man's name?" "No second chances," declared the queen. "But that's not fair," Paulina cried. "Who needs fair? I'm the queen." Paulina leaped out of bed and ran to the window, but it was an unbelievably long drop to the ground. The meal was her only hope. She rushed the tray over to the fireplace, stirred the few remaining hot coals, then crushed her garlic and sprinkled it over the mess for good luck. Finally, Paulina tossed on the herbs to cover up the garlic smell. In many cultures, garlic was considered a good luck charm. Let's see if it works for her. Paulina paced back and forth, planning her escape. Perhaps she could make a deal with the long-haired princess to climb down her braid. She didn't notice that the goopy dough had browned into a crust. The tomatoes were bubbling, the hard bits of cheese had melted, and the fragrance of garlic and herbs filled the room. A page opened the door. "Time's up." Paulina took a deep breath and carried her tray into the great dining room. The other princesses had made lovely feasts, especially the one who had the 7 strange little men to help her. Prince Rupert went right to Paulina's tray. "It's not pretty, but it smells scrumptious." He helped himself to an unusually generous piece. "What do you call this dish?" Paulina shrugged. "I don't know." "It can't be an official entry in the contest if it doesn't have the name," said the queen. "Oh, for Pete's sake," Paulina muttered. "What's that?" snapped the queen. "Pete's what?" Remembering the beheading threat, Paulina frantically tried to think of a name. "It's pizza. Pizza." "Pizza?" The queen took a big bite. "Odd name, but it's tasty. The winner is Paulina's Pizza." "You mean I won't be beheaded?" "I was only kidding about the beheading," said the queen. I was only kidding about wanting to marry Prince Rupert. Who needs him? I have other plans." "Will you leave your recipe?" asked the queen. "No way," said Paulina. "It's just become a family secret." She headed for the door. "Oh, I did like you the best," whined the queen, following close behind. "Oh, for Pete's sake," muttered Paulina as she stomped across the drawbridge. Princess Paulina's Pizza Palace opened a few weeks later. It featured unusual carved furniture and 50 kinds of pizza. Every Thursday on the Royal Chef's Night Off, Queen Zelda and Prince Rupert came to Paulina's popcorn pineapple pizza. They often stayed to play cards with Paulina's father. Let's see. For today's special, they have butterscotch broccoli, pickled parsnip, chocolate chicken pizza, rosemary rhubarb pizza, and avocado apricot pizza. Which one would you pick? From then on, whenever Paulina drove her pizza delivery cart through town doing the princess wave, everyone waved back and ran after her, asking about the day's specials. Life was good. Paulina was grateful not to have Queen Zelda for a mother-in-law, but she still worried about one little thing. She worried about getting Queen Zelda as her stepmother. Looked like Paulina's dad and the Queen. The end. Well, that was a really fun story. I liked reading that. Okay, so instead of making an actual pizza, which you still can do, I'm going to show you how to do a quick and easy paper plate pizza. For this project, you'll need in your envelope, there is a paper plate, a piece of white paper, and you're going to need some markers and some tape or glue and a pair of scissors. So on your paper plate, I've already drawn the base of our pizza. I did my crust in brown, then I drew the little slices, and I drew an orange and yellow cheese. Okay, so you can make your pizza a white pizza, you can make your pizza a pesto pizza, you can make your pizza a purple strawberry and grape jam pizza. It doesn't matter what the base of your pizza is, as long as it has the crust and the slices. Okay. Once you have the base all done, then you could decide on your toppings. You can make a pineapple pizza. So I'm going to maybe draw some pineapple slices. You can make a broccoli pizza. You can make pepperoni if you would like. Whatever you would like to draw or make on your pizza. Pineapples. That's my broccoli. You can make whatever toppings you like. If you like chocolate chicken on your pizza, make chocolate chicken on your pizza. If you want to do a dessert pizza with donuts on your pizza, do a donut pizza. Go crazy. Do whatever you'd like. Cut out your toppings. And then with tape, you can also use glue if you have it. I'm going to make a loop with my tape and then stick my topping on wherever I'd like it. Make as many toppings as you like. Fill up your toppings. Fill up your whole pizza with toppings, or maybe you just want to make a few. So thank you guys for coming and watching this video and learning all about pizza and Fractured Fairy Tales. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.